Today, I'm going to show you how to make marble candles. There are two main techniques, a swirling method and a painting method. Both capture some really intricate patterns and are pretty easy to do. Let's get to it. First, prepare your candle jars. I'm using the Puebla jars here, but you can use whichever jars you like. This effect does work best if they're clear though. Be sure to wipe out your jars with rubbing alcohol and a clean paper towel first to remove any dust. On to the swirling method. This technique is done by adding dye to a small amount of wax at the bottom of your jar, then slowly rolling it around the sides, allowing you to capture vibrant organic swirls. How much wax and dye you begin with will affect the finished look of the candle, so feel free to experiment with different amounts and colors. You'll want to allow the wax and dye to cool completely before pouring the rest of your candle. I'd recommend pouring the wax slightly below the recommended pouring temp to avoid reactivating the dye. If you pour too hot, the dye can bleed and color the entire candle. This next method involves painting the dye on the inside of your jars after the candle has been poured, but before it has completely cooled. This technique allows you to have a bit more control over where the dye is placed and how the finished pattern will look. Timing and temperature are key here. If you put the dye in too early, when the wax is too hot, it will likely bleed and color the entire candle. Wait too long and the wax may be too cool, and you won't be able to push the skewers into the candle at all. This technique also makes it a little easier to place a swirl pattern on the top of the candle if you'd like. A pro tip for both swirling methods is that if you plan on using 2 or more colors in the same candle, you absolutely can. But just be sure to use colors that will blend well together, as they will begin to interact as the candle melts. And that's it! For a full step-by-step guide, be sure to check out the tutorial on CandleScience.com.